It could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford wanna challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great. So you know what I'm saying. I'm with it. So I'll be going for the if he fight Canelo.
You got Crawford over Bud? I mean, you got Crawford over Canelo? Sorry.
I'll be going for it.
Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't.
Canelo. But Bud is one of the best adjusters in the game. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to affect the...
Errol Spence and Stephen A. Smith both shared their thoughts on the upcoming showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Spence praised Crawford's decision to move up in weight, saying it shows that Crawford understands his own limits, but is still determined to pursue greatness. He called the move bold and admirable, and he expressed full support for Crawford in taking on such a huge challenge. On the other hand, Stephen A. Smith made a confident prediction. He believes Crawford will beat Canelo.
Crawford-Canelo, I mean, is this something that you could honestly think that should happen? There's weight classes for a reason.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford wanna challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great. So you know what I'm saying. I'm with it. So I'll be going for the if he fight Canelo.
You got Crawford over Bud? I mean, you got Crawford over Canelo? Sorry.
I'll be going for him. I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna win or lose, but I definitely be on Crawford. I think if anybody can pull out, he can pull out. Yeah. But he's chasing greatness, so why not?
But don't you think maybe it's just he's reaching a little bit more than, or I guess biting more than he can chew, because it's...
Canelo came up to 175 and now that and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, he started at 147. So I mean, if he's doing it, why can't Crawford do it?
Stephen A. Smith emphasized that Crawford's tactics and skill set are far superior to those of any of Canelo's recent opponents. He pointed out Crawford's exceptional adaptability in the ring and his ability to adjust under pressure. Smith made it clear he has no doubt in his mind. He's standing firmly by his prediction that Crawford will win, and he plans to stick with it all the way until September 13th.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love
Who
boxing.
gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
Always prepared.
He's always
You gotta
ready.
give
He's
him
always
that.
prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But he ain't got...
The conversation around Terence Crawford's decision to move up in weight to face Canelo Alvarez often brings Errol Spence into the spotlight. Many fans argue that Crawford's dominant whenever Spence proves he's ready for another major challenge. However, analysts are quick to remind everyone that Canelo is a completely different type of fighter. While Spence was strong and accomplished, his style was more straightforward and less versatile than Canelo's. Canelo brings heavier hands, a more solid frame, and years of experience fighting bigger, stronger opponents, making this a very different kind of test for Crawford.
People thought Spence would destroy Canelo. That's why they linked Crawford would do what he did to Spence. He would do to Canelo. And the funny thing is, How many of you guys you remember me saying Canelo will whoop Spence's ass? I was like, that shit wouldn't even be close. And the dumb shit is, they think that Spence is similar to Canelo. I ain't never seen two fighters more different than Spence and Canelo. But Spence worked behind the jab. Canelo, not so much. Spence is southpaw. Canelo, not at all. Spence had the textbook defense. You were sideways. Canelo, more forward with the earmuffs, with the catch and shoot. Spence, hardly any head movement. He blocks and he breaks you down like a tank. Canelo, from waist up, his hand movements is incredible. I never seen fighters more different than Spence and Canelo.
Comparing Errol Spence to Canelo Alvarez can be misleading, as the two operate in different weight classes and bring very different skill sets to the ring. Showbiz emphasizes that while Crawford went over Spence was undeniably impressive, it doesn't automatically mean he'll be able to replicate that success against Canelo. The Mexican superstar has already proven himself against a long list of elite fighters. Crawford now faces a completely new set of challenges, ones that Spence never posed. That's exactly what makes this upcoming fight so compelling. It's not just a continuation of the Crawford versus Spence storyline. It's an entirely new chapter with much higher stakes.
I don't see Crawford knocking Canelo out. If Canelo lets Crawford get away with boxing, he may have a shot. If Canelo comes in there and boxes and cut the ring, Canelo has a chance of knocking Crawford out.
What?
Yeah.
You said Canelo got a shot at knocking Crawford out?
I think he does.
Wow.
Remember, Crawford coming up for 135. And I don't know if y'all remember when he fought Gamboa. Gamboa rocked him a little bit too. And we talking about Canelo Alvarez.
That was a long time ago. If we gonna do that, Canelo got rocked by Jose Miguel Cotto.
I didn't know that. But on the real, Canelo has faced a bigger opposition. He's faced a bigger and a harder punchers. Who has Crawford faced that's a big puncher? Canelo's taking more hard punches than Crawford. The tail of the tape is going to be if Crawford can take the power from Canelo and can Canelo box with Crawford and potentially hurt him and finish the fight.
Zab Judah weighed in on Canelo Alvarez's decision to bring Jaron Boots Ennis into camp as a sparring partner. According to Judah, this move could be a smart one, as Ennis is one of the most dynamic fighters in the welterweight division. Sparring with him will help Canelo get a feel for the kind of speed, footwork, and movement that Terence Crawford is known for. However, Judah made an important distinction. While Boots Ennis brings explosiveness, fast combinations, and aggressive style, Crawford operates in a completely different rhythm. His timing, patience, and ability to adapt in real time make him a unique challenge, even for someone preparing with a top-tier sparring partner like Ennis.
Difference in being able to see a lot more punches coming at you, a bigger guy throwing a lot more, sharper and volume of punches. Yeah, that makes it a little difference. But still Crawford is still a different technical fighter than Boots is. You know what I'm saying? He's a different kind of technician. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a right there in your face. Take away and counter, lock up, counter. You know what I'm saying? Which Boots is, out of there, out of there, out of there, boom, out of there. You know what I'm saying? A different kind of fight.
Crawford is known for switching stances effortlessly, controlling distance with precision, and setting traps that catch opponents off guard. Judah acknowledges that while Canelo will definitely benefit from testing himself against someone as talented as Ennis, it doesn't guarantee he'll be fully prepared for Crawford's more cerebral, strategic approach to, in other words. The sparring sessions may sharpen Canelo's timing and reactions, but they can't truly replicate the unique puzzle that Crawford presents in a ring. That Judah's comments underline a key truth in boxing. Sparring partners offer valuable insight, but there's no substitute for the real thing under bright lights and pressure of fight night.
It makes a lot of sense they work with him, but you know what I'm saying? Will it make a difference in the fight? I don't know. I just think that it'll get Canelo more used to younger guys, faster hands, you know what I'm saying, coming at him like that. Is he still going to be able to deal with the different technical moves that Crawford is going to do to him?
Oscar de la Hoya offered a measured take on the upcoming Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford matchup. He reflected on a moment earlier in Crawford's career, specifically his fight against Yuriorkis Gamboa, where Crawford was tested by a smaller but highly skilled opponent. De La Hoya noted that if Crawford faced difficulties there, stepping into the ring with someone like Canelo, who is bigger, stronger, and more powerful, could present an even greater challenge. That said, De La Hoya didn't downplay Crawford's talent. He acknowledged that Crawford is one of the most technically sound fighters in boxing today, praised for his exceptional timing, sharp counterpunching, and ability to adapt tactically in any situation.
Do you feel that Terence has a shot in beating Canelo Alvarez?
That's the $1 million question. When I watched Terence Crawford get rattled and rocked by Yorkis Gamboa, who's a natural 30-pounder, that to me is going to be a huge problem when he gets hit by Canelo. So he fights at 175. He's fighting these big monsters. Right. Yeah. He's not getting rattled at all. No. Berlanga's a big kid. Right. So it makes me think, I mean, how is Crawford going to keep him away for 12 rounds? Canelo's going to come at him hard. Right. But then again, I think about Crawford's abilities and his IQ and his footwork, which Canelo cannot have.
What makes this fight so compelling, according to Oscar De La Hoya, is the classic clash of styles. Canelo's size and power versus Crawford's skill and ring intelligence. De La Hoya admits it's extremely difficult to predict what will happen when the two finally meet in the ring. Both fighters bring distinct strengths that could ultimately determine the outcome. His uncertainty reflects just how high the stakes are and how unpredictable this matchup truly is, which only adds to the excitement and anticipation throughout the boxing world.
Before, it happened with Mayweather, who schooled him left and right with no problem, and Canelo was way stronger than Mayweather. So there's
Don't you think Canelo's a better fighter than he was then, today?
A better fighter, yeah, a little better, yeah. His footwork is still the same. He's flat-footed, he's very heavy on his feet.
Obviously, Canelo has the power to hurt anyone.
In this game, power means a lot. If you can't keep your guy off you, or you don't know how because it's too much pressure, and the one thing about Crawford is that he knows how to handle the pressure. He's a savvy boxer, you know? And he doesn't run, and he has that heart. He's a dog, he has that heart. You want to...
Sean Porter weighed in on Canelo Alvarez's decision to bring Jaron Boots Ennis into his training camp, calling a smart and strategic move. Porter likened the decision to when Sebastian Fundora used Mike Fox as a sparring partner to prepare for specific styles, i.e. in this case. Boots Ennis is considered the best available replica for Terence Crawford. While not a perfect match, his explosiveness, quick footwork, and sharp angles offer Canelo a chance to prepare for some of the key challenges Crawford is known for. Porter emphasized how crucial this kind of preparation is, especially against someone like Crawford, a fighter who shifts gears mid-fight, adjusts seamlessly, and capitalizes on mistakes without hesitation. It's not just about sparring. It's about replicating the unpredictability Crawford brings to the ring.
Got me a little concerned about my boy because this dude right here is the goods, has the ability to do a lot of what Canelo's gonna see on fight night, and all he needs is a couple of reps of seeing it. Couple of reps of seeing it, and you know, it's not often you can find someone who can duplicate the guy that you're getting in the ring with. Who the hell did you spar with to get ready for Fundora?
Actually, yeah, the homie Mike Fox.
Mike Fox, everybody use Mike Fox. Goddamn, Mike.
He gets beat up.
Having Boots Ennis in the gym forces Canelo to stay alert and adjust in real time, just like he'll need to do on fight night. Porter believes the strategy will give Canelo a clearer understanding of Crawford's movement patterns, even if it can't fully replicate the unpredictability of the actual fight. The real value lies in sharpening Canelo's reflexes and ensuring he isn't caught off guard when Crawford begins shifting momentum mid-fight.
We talked about that all the time because I'm the one that I think first called him, you know, for the Fundora fight. And he says like, man, ever since that and you went and knocked him out, like he's like, as long as Fundora is fighting people, I got work. Like
yeah.
Nah, and but like to that point, the fact that Canelo even brought in Boots, even if they're like doing it for the cameras and they're going 50%, I don't even care. The fact that he's calling him in shows that he's not just phoning it in. This isn't for the check, because Canelo's done, he's about to do this and dip out. If you bring in someone like that, where you're really trying to bring in tough sparring for the look for your fight, Canelo's, he's really gonna be in there to win it.
Here's the disclaimer, you're not bringing in a friend. I went out to Philly to interview Boots, and I told him, yeah, I'll get in the ring with you and do a couple of rounds. And he worked accordingly, but I could see in his eye.
Another dimension of this fight involves the racial and cultural undertones surrounding it. Some observers argue that the promotion has evolved into more than just a sporting event, with narratives of Mexico versus African-American fighters dominating the conversation. The backlash intensified when Canelo brought Jaron Ennis into his camp for sparring, and analysts reacted by explaining how critics felt this added fuel to the perceived rivalry. This analysis highlights how boxing often mirrors broader societal tensions, where fans project their identities and communities onto the fighters in the ring. However, it's important to recognize that framing the fight purely in racial terms risks overshadowing the technical brilliance and skill both athletes bring to the sport.
Racial fight. That's what it is. It became a racial fight. It became blacks against the Mexicans. It wasn't like that a few weeks ago.
Definitely wasn't. I didn't hear nothing about race. I heard more so about size and weight class and, resumes, etc.
Right. I mean, that's just what it. That's what it came to. I mean, people can deny it all they want, but realistically, that's what it came to. It's a racial fight. Blacks against the Mexicans. That's what it came down to. You know what I mean? So I think that's why a lot of people mad that who's sparring Canelo, because it's like, oh, he's helping them out for Bud. You know what I mean?
In Coach Reg's view, Crawford and Canelo aren't fighting to prove cultural superiority. They're battling to cement their legacies in the sport. Still, he acknowledged that the cultural element can't be ignored. National pride and identity have always been major factors in boxing history, from Ali versus Frazier to Chavez versus Taylor, and fan bases often divide along cultural lines. In this fight, both the Mexican and African American communities are passionately rallying behind their champions, adding yet another layer of intensity to an already high-stakes showdown.